All right, welcome back to another episode of BOC with Ketter. This is season 1, episode 16, and I do have another special guest joining us today. I'll go ahead and let you introduce yourself.
My name's Clayton Lieb. I am the owner of Driftless Quality Wear.
Awesome. Thank you, Clayton. We've chit-chatted a little bit over social media, so it's really nice to finally meet you virtually and sit down and have a conversation.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Awesome. And then to kick us off, I always ask my guest, what are you sipping on today, this nice chilly evening?
I don't actually have anything in my hand right now. I thought about indulging in one, but it'll probably end the night with a nice cold Busch Light.
There you go, man. There's one of my favorite beers. I'm getting married in like 3 weeks, and my signature drink is a Busch Light with a pickle.
Nice.
So don't blame me. But
Can't go wrong. Did you say with a pickle?
with a pickle, man, I love putting a pickle in any like light beer. Like that's just my favorite thing in the world.
That's also one of my favorite things. Pickle in a PBR was always the move
Dude.
that I went for. Yep.
Yes. There's
Yep.
nothing wrong. I feel like it's definitely like a Midwest thing. I don't know if too many people outside the Midwest do that, but it's
Yeah,
superior in a light beer.
I agree.
I poured myself a little. You're in the Midwest. It's pretty chilly in Minnesota, so I got a nice little apple cider. I was like, you know what?
Nice.
Got to whip out the fun stuff.
Yep, that time of year.
Awesome. Well, cool. Let's go ahead and kick it off. So for those of you who don't know, what is Driftless Quality Wear?
Yeah, so Driftless Quality Wear is a outdoor clothing company based out of Dubuque, Iowa area. We have an online store, and then we also do a lot of wholesale. So there's a bunch of different locations in the Midwest that carry our brand.
Really, I did not know that.
Yep.
Awesome. And so your brick and mortar store is in Dubuque, correct?
Well, we don't actually have an actual brick and mortar store. We do a lot of events kind of in the Dubuque area, so that's where we call home, but we don't have like a store just for our own stuff. We have a bunch of different small retailers that carry our brand kind of in the area, so it was a little bit easier for us to kind of spread out across the Driftless area by opening it up to other locations to carry our brand versus just putting it in one spot.
That's actually genius. I love that because, yeah, when it's especially with the Driftless area being such a big but small area, I feel like you can really just kind of capitalize on the area in general. So I think that's a great idea, really.
Yeah, it's worked out pretty well. We when we first started, we did kind of a brick and mortar for a couple months in our college town that we started the business in, and that went over really well. We did that for I think October, November, and December. And then we liked it, but we also didn't like being in the shop all the time. We liked being outside doing things. So we're like, oh, let's just maybe see if we can wholesale to some other places, and then we can spend some more time outside.
Dude, that's the dream
So
right there.
yeah. So
think you guys
we haven't gone back after doing that.
Yeah, that seems to be the hack right there. I love that. I haven't heard too many people doing that. That's
Yep.
really cool. And so you've kind of touched base on this. How did it all start?
Yeah, so it actually it was my college roommate and I. We went to school at Upper Iowa University, which is right in the heart of the Iowa Driftless. We started actually giving trout trips as like a small guide company at school, mostly just for college students and if their parents were coming on the weekends or whatever and wanted to book a trip. We were doing like maybe one trip a month, like it wasn't much at all. We both played college baseball too, so we didn't have a whole lot of free time outside of school and baseball. But anyways, we were doing some trout trips and kind of did like our own little merch line for the trout guiding, and quickly realized that we were selling more hats and t-shirts than we were trout trips. So we kind of changed the business a little bit and wanted to focus just kind of on apparel since there wasn't really anything else that was out there on the Driftless region.
Dude, that is such a cool story. I love that. I'm sure you were really busy with
Yeah,
and guiding. Woo.
for sure. We opened the store while we were still playing and guiding a little bit. So it was like right from class, we'd go downtown to the shop, and one of us would cover the hours that we were open, and the other would go to class or go to practice or whatever. And so it was pretty hectic there while we were in school. That's for sure.
So how many years in the making is this? When did you kind of get out of
Yeah,
school and start this process?
2018 in the fall is when we started the business officially. We had like an Instagram page and stuff for a
Yeah.
little while before that, but we everything was formed, I believe, when we were juniors in college in 2018, and then our store was in the fall of 2019. And then yeah, we've been going ever since. So I graduated in 2020, and we kind of just kept expanding from there, kept adding retail locations. During the summers, we'd hit the road and we'd do a lot of trade shows and vendor markets and things like that, just to kind of get the word out there, which we still do some of today, but not as much as we used to. Just to kind of spread the word on the brand and keep it growing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. And my two favorite things in the world are fly fishing and baseball. So I gotta ask you, since you're in Iowa, I'm gonna take a guess and say you're a Cubbies fan.
I'm actually not. I was born and raised in Northwest Illinois, and I am a White Sox fan.
You're a White Sox fan. Okay.
Yes, kind of rare, but yes.
I can respect
Yeah.
that, man. I'm a diehard Twins fan, and
Ooh.
we're in a bad place right now. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
couple of years.
Yep. Yep. We're in the same boat with you. So,
That's interesting. The
what
Central's
part of Minnesota are you out of?
Yeah, so I'm right on the border, right between Wisconsin and Minnesota. I'm about 20 minutes from the Kinney, if you've ever fished the Kinnickinnick River.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm the sole owner now, but my old business partner and roommate is from Hastings, so he's
Oh,
from
yeah.
up in that area. Yeah, and I think he lives in River Falls now too. So
Yeah,
he
dude. Yeah,
fishes the Kinney quite a bit.
it's a beautiful spot. Yeah, I'm right near Hastings, like 5 minutes from Hastings. It's a
Nice.
really cool part of Minnesota. It's not like you're not in the Driftless yet, but I mean you're so close to being in
Yeah.
the Minnesota, Wisconsin part, and then I mean Iowa's only 3-ish hours to the border, so it's a
Yep.
pretty perfect location.
For sure. Yeah, it's a good spot.
That's awesome. Awesome. And so what inspired the name Driftless Quality Wear?
We started when we were doing trout trips. We were Driftless Area Guide Company is what our first name was. So like all the apparel and stuff we had printed all just had Driftless on it. And then when we were doing our apparel line, we really wanted to have like good quality stuff that didn't break the bank, but we didn't want it to seem like cheap or anything like that. So when we decided we were going to switch to more of a clothing type brand name instead of area guide company because we weren't really guiding much anymore, we just went with the quality kind of aspect of our merch. So Driftless Quality Wear was born.
That's awesome. Was there like a aha moment where you're like, okay, this could be something special? Did it kind of have that like transition where it's like, yeah, we can run with this?
Um, yeah, I want to say it was maybe our senior year of school. We had gotten in the newspaper a couple times. We had did like this trip where we closed our shop for a week, and one of our rivers in school, we kayaked it for a week straight and went the entire length of the river to the Mississippi, which was really cool. Just to kind of promote the brand a little bit and do something like that. So that kind of got us a little bit of media attention, and then shortly after that, we got one of our bigger retailers that year. That was it's a hardware chain out of Viroqua and Prairie du Chien. So they started carrying our stuff, and they had been ordering quite a bit more than what our other small like mom and pop places were ordering. So I would say that was probably the first time we were ever like, yeah, we should definitely keep doing this outside of school and not just close it down and move on with it. But yeah, I would say getting the bigger retailer was probably the first time we ever were like, oh, we could really make something out of this.
Absolutely. I'm sure that kind of big moment, kind of everything kind of leads up to that big moment. And I'm sure when it happens, it's like, all right,
For
we can
sure.
do this. We've figured this out.
For sure. And we had done a lot of basically just like dry sales pitches to stores. We'd literally walk in with a box of hats and shirts and be like, hey, want to see if you're interested in selling some of our stuff. And you get a lot of no's doing that, but it only takes a couple good partnerships to make it work. Like some of the ones we have now, we've been with since 2019, and they still put orders in every year. So that's been fun too to build relationships with good people and local business owners that like what we're doing and can help us kind of get the brand out there.
I think that's the best part about doing anything like this is just connecting with people, building relationships, and just working with like-minded people. It's really the best feeling in the world. So
For
I can
sure.
definitely relate to that. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, it's been cool.
Cool. And so, in my opinion, maybe no one else has this opinion, but I do feel like the Midwest kind of gets overlooked when it comes to like the grand scheme of like the outdoor world. How do you aim to kind of put a spotlight on our region in the Driftless through your product?
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I think it definitely gets overlooked. I'm a big advocate of like exploring your backyard, kind of an approach. So like I even have been big on, yes, trout fishing is super popular in the driftless, but there's also like a lot of other opportunities too, with like smallmouth bass and carp and rough fish and all kinds of other things. So I think our products sometimes are a little quirky in that way too, that we kind of promote some stuff that maybe isn't super popular to a lot of people, at least until they maybe learn about it or hear more about it. So I would say that's kind of what we promote, is just like celebrating what you have and taking pride in that.
That's really really important. I agree. When I first got into fly fishing, I was like, okay, there's mainly three trout species in our area. There's brook trout, there's rainbow, there's brown trout, and the occasional tiger trout. And I was like, okay, that's what I'm gonna do fly fishing. Then I realized like I could do a whole much more with the fly rod. Like there's
For
carp,
sure.
there's smallmouth, there's northern, there's muskie. There's
Yep.
just so much. Not so much muskie in the driftless, but in northern part
Yep.
of Minnesota and stuff, it's like, oh, there's a lot I can
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, I think that's how everybody starts out too with fly fishing. Like everyone's going to be trout crazy for the first couple of years, and then you'll go through, the smallmouth stage, and then you'll go through the carp stage and the toothy critter stage, and then you'll probably go back to trout again. And that's kind of the fun in it, is that you can switch it up so frequently and find something to go after all year round.
That is cool. I've never done the carp. I feel like it's super popular right now. I've a couple conventions that I've gone to. There's like literally
Hmm.
booths set up just for carp on the fly. I'm like, that's like a thing. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I need to try this.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's pretty cool. I haven't done a lot of carp fishing, but I switched to smallmouth a couple years ago, and man, that's
Yeah,
that's so much fun.
yeah, I
So
agree.
I've been big on that smallmouth, and still like trout fishing too. But during the summer, I'm a big fan of floating rivers now, so that it's kind of tough to do that in the driftless. There's not a whole lot of trout water you can float. There are a few, but definitely easier to hop on a warm water stream when it gets hot outside and go bang banks for smallies all day.
Dude, I agree. It gets tough running through those little 3 foot creeks in July. And
Yeah.
the banks are choked and the bugs are out, and then it's like,
Yep.
are we really doing this? And it's like, yeah, I'd rather go sit on the Mississippi and float down the river and
Yep.
try to catch some smallmouth. I did my first smallmouth this spring, and yeah, it
Nice.
was it was like something I haven't experienced on a fly rod. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
I could get used to this.
It's pretty cool. And Wisconsin and Minnesota is probably the best place in the United States to do that too. There's some amazing fishing opportunities there.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's just, yeah, like you said, it's in the backyard. Like there's a
Yep.
lot of water to explore, and honestly, you couldn't explore it all in a lifetime. And it's like you just gotta try to take advantage of it when you can.
For sure. Yep.
Awesome. So, what's your process for designing new apparel? Do you like get out and test it like on the water? How does your process kind of look when you're designing a new hat or designing some sweatshirts or kind of rain gear
Hmm.
and stuff like that?
Yeah, for most of like, I would say we kind of have like two categories of apparel. We have more of just like your t-shirts and your hats that aren't really like, I wouldn't consider gear as much.
Yeah.
So that stuff, we use basically the same companies, same apparel companies to design. Like the hats are all Richardson hats, pretty much, which is popular hat brand, and then we do all the patches and stuff in house. We stitch all of them onto the hats ourselves, so that's all done. And then like our other category is more of like our gear type stuff, which is more like you said, like rain jackets and other outerwear. Tech shirts have been big for us the last couple of years. So that kind of stuff, if we're ever venturing into something we haven't done before, definitely order a couple different things that we think might work out, try them out, see how they do, get them wet, see if they really are water resistant or waterproof, and then go from there if we like the style. Usually I go off of what I like to wear, and some opinions from other people that are close to me. I'll say, hey, try this out, see what you think, let me know, and kind of go from there.
That's awesome. Yeah, Richardson's a great hat company. I have way too many hats from Richardson. They're just great, man.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of good companies out there that do the right things. They make their stuff sustainably and have a good selection, constantly coming out with new ideas. So that's good. Once you find a couple, you can kind of be like, well, I know the quality on these other few products from these guys. It's probably going to be something worth taking a look at.
And in your opinion, would you say there's like a product or like a specific line of gear or stuff that you're kind of known for? Is it kind of like the hats, or is it kind of the fun t-shirts or anything like that?
Yeah, definitely. We sell way more hats than anything else. We've always been kind of known for the hats. When we started doing these back in 2018, like patch hat, I don't want to say we were the first ones, but patch hats were kind of making a comeback a little bit.
Yeah.
Like they're on a lot of retro stuff, but back then like there wasn't a lot of like patch hats coming out. So we kind of took pride in that, and every hat we have is the patch style. And all of ours are stitched, where a lot of them today are like just adhesive is really all that's on them. So we don't do any of that. All of ours are stitched by hand. So I would say that's probably the products that I'm the most proud of. And we sell more of those than anything else too. So I think people like that.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, your hats are really cool. I always creep on the website a little bit. Those summer hats those are really nice, man. Those are cool.
Yeah. And I'm a big hat guy too, so like I have a lot of fun designing all the patches and coming up with the color combinations and things like that. So that's definitely our bread and butter.
That's awesome. Yeah, man, I have I'm probably sitting around 70 to 80 hats in my wardrobe, so it's like
usually a fishing trend is if you fish, you probably have a whole bunch of hats.
Yep, exactly. And baseball, like if you like
right.
baseball too, it's just
right.
It's why I went bald by 24 years old.
Yep, exactly.
Just couldn't help it, so it is what it is. That's awesome, man. Cool. So obviously, you're in the Driftless. I'm in the Driftless. What does the Driftless mean to you on more of like a personal level?
I think it's just more of like it's home to me. Like it's where I grew up. It's where I went to school. And I've taken so much enjoyment like exploring stuff that I didn't even know was there. Like growing up, I'm kind of mad at myself for all the years before I really discovered how cool it was. Like I didn't even really fish much at all before I went to college, and it's like, man, I wasted so many years at home. Like when I was in high school, when I was running around being stupid with friends, I could have been, fishing these rivers and creeks or whatever. So I've taken a lot of pride in like that's home, and this is where I want to do some more exploring and tell people about. As far as like what it means to me, I think it's just more of like this kind of feels like it's mine a little bit, at least the pocket where I grew up in, and I'm excited to show people more about what we have to offer.
I couldn't agree more. When I went to college up in Duluth, Minnesota, so obviously not the Driftless, but a mecca for fishing and outdoors, and I didn't even think about doing that kind of stuff when I was in college, and I'm like, dude, what do you?
Yeah,
come on, like
for
you
sure.
could have done salmon fishing, steelhead fishing, like it. It's insane up there. But I don't know. I guess different parts in your life, you have different priorities. But yeah, looking back, I'm kind of kicking myself a little bit too.
For sure. Yep, for sure.
But yeah, that's like you said too, just like showing off that little part. Like it's a very prideful thing, and when people like don't know what the Driftless is, and you take them out, even if it's not just to fish, if it's literally just to drive around and look at the countryside during the fall. Like it's a beautiful place, and I think a lot of people don't even understand it. And it's like, this is a part of the world that has not been touched, and let's keep it that way. And it's just beautiful.
For sure. Yeah, I've been a big advocate too for specifically like the Iowa section of the Driftless. I don't think it's talked about very much compared to. I mean, Wisconsin obviously has the most area, so it gets talked about the most, but. Iowa's got a good chunk that's really cool, and even Illinois's got a nice little section there where there's great fishing in the couple counties that are on the Illinois side. So it's fun kind of talking about the little less explored places.
That is awesome. Yeah, have you personally fished in Illinois?
Oh, yeah, I grew up over there, so I know a lot of the rivers. There's fantastic smallmouth fishing in some of the small creeks, and There's actually even some trout in there too that no one really knows about, but there are some spring-fed creeks there that the DNR doesn't really manage them or anything like that. The water laws in Illinois really suck. There is no like, if your feet are wet, you're good. You're on private property type of regulation there, so you got to know the people that you're going to fish on their property. Yeah, I've got brown trout, wild brown trout in the Driftless of Illinois, so that's pretty cool.
I don't think I've met anyone who's knocked off that section of the Driftless. So
It's tough. It's tough.
I bet it is. It sounds tough, especially with like you said. I didn't know those laws were like that. I mean,
yeah,
the three states are very, very good with
it is.
laws, and it's like,
yep. Yeah, Illinois is pretty bad. There's also like even there's rivers that you could easily kayak down that it's all completely owned by the property owner, so you can't even kayak them really unless if you have permission. Yeah, so it's a bummer. I hope they change that in the future, but unfortunately that's the way it is right now.
Dang, I did not know that. That's good to know. I
Yeah,
don't know if I'll ever make it down to that part.
yeah, it's tough. You almost have to know somebody to fish a lot of the good areas. I mean, there's plenty of public water too. Don't get me wrong. Like there's spots you can definitely go and catch a lot of smallmouth and trout too. But some of those honey holes you gotta know somebody.
So have you caught a trout in all four of the Driftless states?
Definitely in lots in Iowa. I've caught a bunch in Wisconsin and Illinois. I've only actually trout fished in Minnesota, I think one time, and I don't think I caught a trout. It was on the Root River in Lanesboro. I don't think I caught a trout there though, so I don't think I've knocked off Minnesota, which is a darn shame. But
If you ever get up there, let's change. Let's change.
okay,
You let me know.
okay, I will let you know. I've caught trout very, very close to the Wisconsin border, like the same creeks probably, just on the Iowa side, but I don't think I've actually caught one on the other side of the border.
Yeah, yeah. You let me know if you ever make it up. We'll make
All
it
right, sounds good.
There's some good water in Minnesota, and it depends like where you are in Minnesota, but yeah, there's
For
some
sure.
good water that's not extremely pressured. There is some that is crazy pressured, but you
Yep.
can still find some good water. That's for sure.
That's the great part about the Driftless is you could fish a different creek every day for probably the rest of your life and still not touch everything.
Yeah, it's
Pretty
the
cool.
best part and the most anxious part. It's like I want to do it all, and it's like
Yep.
you can't unless it's
Yep.
your full-time job or you don't
Right.
have life responsibilities. But that's not really the case.
Right. Right.
Awesome. So, what would you say has been the biggest challenge in growing your company and your brand?
It's a good question. There is a lot of competition, not necessarily with like our brand specifically, but there are a lot of like apparel brands out there. There's a lot of local clothing companies out there. So like we go to some of these vendor shows or trade market or trade shows and like you'll see a bunch of other booths of people, selling their brands. So I would say it's been a little tough kind of migrating through that and trying to make your brand stick out more than the others without putting them down or anything like that. I would say the other tough part is just like posting on social media all the time is like exhausting sometimes.
Yeah.
And like constantly coming up with new content, and it's like that's really the way to grow these days is to you have to do that kind of thing. So I don't know, sometimes I get a little tired of doing that kind of stuff, but it's part of it and you kind of get used to it after a while.
You do, yeah. That social media it's tough. It's a monster, and it's hard to keep up. Like there's so many platforms, and there's so many ways to get your content or your product out there, and yeah, it can get flat out overwhelming.
Yes, for sure. And like a lot of the times when I go outside and want to, fish and stuff, like I just want to fish. I don't want to have to, make reels or try to take some product photos. I just want to fish and enjoy my time outside and not do as much of that. So that's my challenge to myself is to hopefully get a little bit better at having specific outings just to, get product photos and things like that, and then other outings to just enjoy myself and fish.
perfect. I do. So I would say probably every 3 or 4 times I get out, I just made this up myself and I hold myself to it, but I'll do no content fishing.
Sure.
So I'll
Yep.
just obviously have my phone because I need trout routes and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yep.
I don't bring GoPros. I don't bring cameras. I don't do anything. And it's just like,
Yep.
okay, this is a very good friendly reminder why I started doing this in the first place. Like, it's just good for me to be outside. It's good for me to connect. It's good for me to hopefully catch some fish. If not, whatever. And yeah, it's saved me because like yeah, you're out there sometimes and you're trying to get all the angles and all the every
Yep.
possible thing, and it's like, am I even having fun right now?
For
Like I'm
sure.
just trying to catch fish, and it's like
For
okay, yeah,
sure.
no content. Yeah, give that a whirl. It sounds like you already kind of are, and yeah, you'll definitely feel good about it.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it'll help just knowing that beforehand that, this is a no content outing and just have fun.
Yeah, just go out, catch some fish, and just connect with Mother Nature like we're supposed to do.
Yep, exactly.
Awesome. And you've kind of touched base on this a little bit, but how would you say like partnerships, ambassadors, or just kind of those community events have helped you kind of grow your brand?
A ton. Yeah, I would definitely say a bunch. Like we do quite a few events. The ones we do are ones that like we have a really good customer base there to where it almost feels like we're opening a store for a day, like in that area. Like it's the same people usually coming back to get their stuff for the year, get their Christmas gifts knocked out, get stuff for themselves. So the events are awesome. You can meet so many people, and a lot of times that's when we'll make connections for retailers. Like will be a random person shopping at the market that owns a store or is cousins with someone's friend's brother's cousin that owns a store, and we've gotten a few retailers from doing that. And then just making the relationships with the stores have been huge for us. Just we recently added Powerhouse REI to start stocking our things. So we've got a location in Madison now and in Milwaukee that they just get so many more customers in through their doors than we could ever get in a small town here in the Driftless. So those have been huge for us to expand and get our product available in more areas.
Yeah, that's got to be huge to expand like that. Good for you. Holy cow, that's sweet.
Yeah, it's been cool. We that's kind of a newer thing within the last like year and a half. We've been working with REI and we've got a few more locations hopefully in the works here for the next year. So
Dude, heck yeah, that's unreal.
yeah, so that'll be cool for sure.
That's awesome. Awesome. So, what advice would you give to someone who's looking to start like an outdoor lifestyle brand in today's world? What advice would you give somebody?
I would, I guess, say like if you're gonna do something like that, I would try to find a way to be unique compared to what's kind of already out there because there's just a lot of them out there right now, so it's kind of tough to stand out. The other thing I would say is try to do as much, in-house as you possibly can if you want to create that relationship with your customers. I know at least in my head, like I don't want to order something from someone that maybe they don't even ever touch the product and like it's being made in China and shipped right to your door and like they don't even know what's coming. So I take a lot of pride in that maybe it's cost me more money to do it the way that we're doing it, but I touch every single article of clothing that goes on the shelves and that gets shipped out and I know that it's going to be quality product that you're getting. So I would say if that's kind of the way you want to go is you want to have a quality product is find ways to do stuff in-house if you can, whether that's buying equipment to do it yourself or working with, like a local printer or something like that. Like we do a lot of the stitching and stuff here, but we don't have a screen printer. So there's a little tiny mom and pop place in Northeast Iowa that does all of our printing for us that we've been working with for a long time. So, and that's another thing too, is you can be supporting some other small businesses by putting your business through them and not going through somewhere else, even though it might be a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I couldn't agree more about like how you said you're literally physically touching all the product. Like in our fast-paced world, like that aspect kind of seems to be thrown out the door. So like that human aspect of just being able to connect and make a relationship is something that's so special and almost gone in our world. So I do think a lot of people do appreciate that. So that is very cool.
For sure. Yeah, it's something I definitely take a lot of pride in.
Yeah, yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. That's super cool. So I'll switch gears on you a little bit. What is your favorite, most special day in the Driftless?
Ooh, there's a lot of them. Uh,
Good.
I do have like, yeah, maybe one that comes to mind just fishing wise. My friend Jake and I were in Decorah area, Decorah, Iowa. Lots of great trout fishing in that neck of the woods. We were there for the weekend, just to do some fishing, hang out, camping. And I had brought my raft with, so we were gonna float one of the rivers kind of in that area. And the night before we were gonna go, it was just like raining like crazy, and the rivers were all up. Of course, like we went there for the weekend to fish, and everything was gonna be blown out. Um, but anyways, the next morning we like had gotten up, checked the river, we're like, it's definitely up, but not anything too crazy. So we'll just give it a shot. And it was the most insane streamer day. Like every single cast was a 15-inch brown trout for 8 hours straight, and I've never had a day of fishing like that since. It was just like one of those, everything just aligned, and all the food was getting washed into the water, and the fish were just hungry, and it didn't matter what you had on the end of your line, and it was just a super, super cool day.
That sounds amazing. There's nothing like some high dirty water and just hucking big streamers. Like,
Yep.
Yep. They go bananas for it.
Yeah. It's a stretch of water that we had never really fished either too. We knew that there was trout in there, but it runs pretty warm in the summertime, so doesn't hold a lot of trout year round. We were kind of at the beginning of fall when we went, and the rain must have just pushed them all in from the spring creeks and stuff. So they were chewing, and it was fun. We were just like doubling up every few minutes in the raft and getting out, and we'd pluck 6 of them out of a run and get back. It was just that's probably the day that this sticks out to me the most.
Yeah, that's got to be a great day. Yeah, there's nothing better than that. Like you said, when everything just kind of lines up, it's just like, and it's rare. Like it's rare to find those days because it's a challenge out there. Like it just
for sure.
Like,
and I mean, we did the same thing the next day. We fished the river, and I don't know if we caught a fish that next day. So it's just you got to put a lot of 0 days in to get days like that for sure.
You do. Especially if it's like not during like right away in the spring or like right now in the fall time. Like if it's in the middle of summer, you can just get your butt kicked. Right.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, it rained last night. Let's go out in the morning, and it's just the most magical 3 hours.
Yep.
In your life.
For sure. For sure. And it's like, man, they really say it's true. Like you just got to go, and if you have time to go, it doesn't matter what the conditions are. Like just go, because you never really know what's gonna happen.
Dude, I couldn't agree more. Like, yeah, everyone, like you talk to some people and it's like, oh, I won't go fishing over, this degree or under this degree. Like, sure, but like, get out there. You never know what's going to happen. I've caught some of my coolest, biggest fish in days where it's like, there's a 0% chance I should even be out here. Fish should not be biting, and it's just like, well, you're out here, and sometimes you get rewarded.
For sure. It's like every time you're thinking about going and you don't go, you kick yourself, and then every time you're kind of debating it and you do go, you're like, man, I'm so glad I went. It's just how it always is.
It is exactly. Can say that about a lot of things in life, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
For sure.
Awesome. So what's next for Driftless Quality Wear? Do you have any new drops, collabs, or any events in the works? You've kind of talked a little bit about kind of some future stuff. What's next?
Yeah, we'll be releasing the fall collection here. If not by the end of this week, it'll be next week. So we'll be rolling out a whole bunch of new products there. We usually do a spring summer drop and then a fall drop every year where we kind of launch all of our new products. So the fall launch will be coming up here in a week. Mentioned it a little bit before. We're working with REI to hopefully get some more locations here, hopefully within the next 6 months to a year. So that'll be pretty big. And then we've got a couple events on the books here for the end of the year in Dubuque. So if any listeners in the Dubuque area, you know where to find us. We're downtown there for their big events. We'll have everything available. So perfect time to grab stuff for Christmas gifts or get something for yourself too.
When is that?
So we'll be there for actually next week on Thursday nights. They do a night market downtown, so we'll be there for that. And then their big like Christmas event is on December 5th and 6th this year, and that's in the Millwork District downtown. So same spot, we've been there since 2019. We'll be slinging hats and tees all weekend. So love to see anybody that's in the area.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Do you enjoy like going to those events and just selling product and just talking to people? Like, is that like your favorite part about doing this? Or do you
Uh,
design work?
No, it's not. If I had to be honest with you, I used to really like doing it when we first got started. It's just a lot of work now to do. My brother actually goes to school in Dubuque, so he runs pretty much all of our Dubuque events. So I haven't been going to a lot of those, which has been super nice because he's a college kid and wants some beer money, and I don't have to go down there and set up for a few hours. So he does a lot of those now, but I do still enjoy them. It's just a lot of work, and they're almost always on the weekends. So it's like, I'd rather go do something else than do this. So we've dumbed it down quite a bit. We used to do a show like pretty much every weekend in the summer, and now we're not doing near as many. We do basically just the Thursday night markets in Dubuque during the summer, and then we'll do a couple bigger like weekend event stuff around Madison area or Galena. So, yep.
Awesome. No, yeah, that's cool. I could see where that could get to be a lot. So it's probably nice to have those people in your corner that can help you out with those kind of things. So
For
that's gotta
sure.
be nice.
Yep, for sure.
Awesome. Awesome. Couple more questions for you. Not giving out too many, secrets or anything, but have you been out fishing a little bit in the driftless in your area?
I haven't been out. I've actually been traveling a lot like the last few months, so I haven't been fishing a ton. I was just in British Columbia for a while fishing for cutthroat and bull trout. And then before that, I was in Colorado doing a bunch of cutthroat stuff. So I'm excited to get back out there this fall and do some more in the driftless. But no, I have not been out for a while.
Dang, it sounds like you were in some cool places though.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I have been meaning to do a little bit more traveling over the next couple of years and just branching out, new species, stuff like that. So this was kind of the first year of doing that.
Was it successful for the most part?
It was. The British Columbia trip was really cool. We kind of knew there was going to be a potential for bull trout, but started out fishing for cutthroat. And the first day we were out with our guide and had a cutthroat get attacked by a bull trout. So we switched switched over to bull trout tactics after that for the next couple of days. And I think between my buddy and I, we caught 8 of them in 2 days. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I feel like that's very successful because
Yeah.
they're pretty territorial, pretty aggressive trout, correct?
Yes, they are. And they're really like they're kind of like musky a little bit, maybe not quite as bad, but they don't eat very often. So like it's a very tough fish to be there at the right time for, kind of a thing. Like the first one that we saw, the guide was like, "You guy, I know you're here to catch cutthroat, but like this is pretty rare that they're active and feeding right now, so you might want to switch over." And we're like, yeah, like let's do it if we're here and they're active. So a big fish too. The biggest one we got wasn't very big. It was like I think 30 was the biggest we got, but they can get like upper 40s. They can get really really big. Yeah, yeah.
I
So
didn't.
we saw a couple nice ones, but caught a lot of like the teenager bulls, like in the 24 to 28 inch range,
That's
which
awesome, man.
which is still a lot of fun for sure.
Dang. Are you mostly hucking streamers for them, or?
Yeah, yep. You're throwing
Nice.
big streamers on 8 and 9 weights, pretty much. Yeah, throwing big streamers for them, and they eat whitefish and cutthroat. So like 6 to 8 inch streamers for big bull trout is pretty fun.
Yeah, that's a big streamer. It's a real
Yeah,
big streamer.
yeah,
I got a few of
yeah,
those, but I don't use
yeah.
too much of the driftless here and there.
Yeah, so if you ever have any interest, British Columbia is a pretty cool place to check out and is not nearly as busy as like Montana and Wyoming is for cutthroat and bulls.
Yeah, I would like that. Yeah, the less pressure, the better.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome, awesome. Well, Clay, that was all my questions for you. Is there anything else you want to touch base on or shout out while we're here?
Not really, no. I mean, if anybody has any questions or wants to check us out, Driftless Quality Wear is the website. You can check us out there. We've got all our products on there. There's a contact page on there if you want to reach out to me. I am the sole person that's reading all those emails, so you'll be talking to me. Otherwise, you can check us out on Facebook, Instagram. I guess we're on TikTok. I'm not on there as much as I should be, but we're on all the social medias. You can give us a follow. We'd appreciate it, and I appreciate you letting me come on here and talk a bit.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming. I know it's hard to connect, especially in this time of the year. Everyone's got hunting, fishing, and life. So I do want to thank you for coming on as well. It's been awesome to chit chat with you and get to learn the process. And I can't wait to see where you guys are going with this. It seems like a very, very cool brand that you're working with here.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.